got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. I alluded it to before. I mean, if you just do the simple fan thing of saying, well, we missed 2 field goals, there's 6 points, and then the muff punt that we lost, there's another 3 points. I mean, if you just do that simple math there, then obviously we win, right? I mean, that we win the game. I obviously, if that stuff happens, the game doesn't play out exactly the same way. But, that's the one spot where I just don't see a bright side. We moved from our long snapper and to a new one, and that looked even worse. And not only will I say it affected the scoreboard, which it clearly did, Jordan Love had a rough first quarter or two. He had a very good-looking third, like half a third quarter, and a great-looking fourth quarter. I mean, he was moving the ball, hitting receivers open, and he was starting to look like an NFL quarterback there by the end of the game. He had a couple 3-and-outs. He had a couple bad throws that first game. You know how deflating it must have been for him to be on the sideline saying, I'm doing everything I can, and I'm new at this, so other guys help me out here. To see his team not get the laces in the right direction and Crosby pulling a field goal left, and then to see one blocked, and then to see a turnover on your own 10-yard line. I mean, that must have been so deflating and so much weight on the shoulders of Jordan Love that obviously I'm not going to give that as an excuse of why he might have played poorly in some parts of the game. But I mean, that's a hard thing to overcome. I mean, he's already worried about a million other things. To see his team give up those simple plays must have been tough on him.
I mean, it would be for sure. It is tough. I mean, like I said earlier in the show, it's a tall order for him to come out regardless, but when your special teams are performing at such a low level, it's got to be tough. I mean, like you mentioned earlier, I think we could basically put 9 points on the special teams that we lost in a game that we only needed 7 to win. So really frustrating. But I think more so from his perspective, he's just got to worry about his game. Let the other coaches worry about special teams. Just go out and do what you can do, and that's
well.
All
Of course, that's what he has to do. My point is like the emotional roller coaster he must have been on already. And to have his team just kind of fall short on kind of gimme plays, you know what I mean? Like it's a tough thing to overcome. So, again, my overall, something about our special teams just has to change or be fixed. I don't get it. Amari Rodgers is clearly not comfortable back there. Malik Taylor is clearly not comfortable back there. I've seen things online saying, let's just put Cobb up, back there so he has some sure hands. Or hell, let's just have no one back there and let the ball land where it lands, because that's better than what we've been seeing on it. I mean, same story as last year. We lost yards on every play. Man.
It's like, why would you ever return when you're getting the ball on the 25? Why would you ever bring it out? And if you're calling for a fair catch punt, go catch the damn ball. Don't wait for it to bounce and then hit your player and turn it into a live ball, and then give Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs the ball at their own or at our 5-yard line. It boggles my mind. I don't know at this point if it's coaching anymore, because we've had over the last 15 years, half a dozen or more special teams coordinators. At some point, it's players, not plays. You know what I mean? Those are mistakes that the players are making, and now you can coach them until you're blue in the face. But if you tell Amari Rodgers a dozen times, hey, catch the ball in the end zone, put down a knee, fair catch it, don't bring it back, and he still does it, then I don't know. I don't really know what to tell you. At that point, it's not the coach.
Well, it is the coach. Is that after the second time, he shouldn't be back there again. I mean, if that's how simple of a conversation it's been, then he's done, right? Like it's like you're done returning. This is a professional team. We're gonna find someone else that can make better decisions. But I don't know. It's for us. I mean, this is the fan in us just getting upset and ranting because it's just so hard to see. You're gonna miss a field goal slightly to the left every now and then. But this was not the game we needed everything to go our way, right? I think yep. Whoever was that Aikman talking last night, those were the types of, we needed to win on defense. We needed to win on special teams to give our offense a chance. Our defense did so good that they almost overcame the bad special teams and the mediocrity in the offense. But to have that big of a of a lot, losing, if you will, between special teams. I mean, we lost that battle many times over, but yeah, that's the one spot where it's hard for me to look on the brighter side. I have no answers for that.
Yep, I don't. Yeah, we certainly don't have the answer, and it doesn't sound like the Packers do either, but we'll see. So, there's one thing I wanted to ask you, and this isn't really regarding this game, but when you had sent me a text when we found out that Aaron Rodgers was COVID positive, and I was like, well, okay, well, I mean, I was like, he's vaccinated, so he'll just have to have a couple of consecutive positive or a negative test, and then he'll be back for Kansas City. And you texted me back, he's unvaccinated, and I was like, wait, I'm sure that I heard him tell the media in a press conference that he was vaccinated. There is a lot of speculation going around right now in the national media as to whether or not he lied or he deliberately misled. The exact quote was, and I'm sure our listeners are hearing a lot of this, but when asked point blank if he was vaccinated, his response was, "Yeah, I've been immunized." And then he goes on this sort of explanation regarding, he's like, there are a lot of people that choose to not get vaccinated, and I'm not going to judge those people. So he was excluding himself from that group. What do you make of this? Did Aaron Rodgers lie? In my opinion, he lied. He lied to fans. He lied to the media. I mean, you had Justin Wilde write a piece about this and literally say in his article, Aaron Rodgers is vaccinated, and then, yada yada yada. What do you make of this?
Aaron Rodgers, the football player, is probably the best quarterback in the league currently, right? I mean, I know the Tom Brady argument, but, and as long as he's in green and gold, I'm going to be rooting for him, and he's my guy. Do I want him to start next week over Jordan Love? Hell yeah, I do. Aaron Rodgers and some of his shenanigans this summer, I totally got from his perspective. I'm like, yeah, I get it. The Packers are obviously don't have his best interest in mind. I can see why he's trying to make moves to protect himself in the future. I don't like the way he, some of the ways he handled that this summer. But overall, I kind of gave him the benefit of the doubt on things like that. This last move, regardless of your COVID vaccination stance or anything like that, like from a purely football perspective, the not getting the vaccine was just a selfish play, right? It's harder to win football games when the reigning MVP isn't in the game. And if you're not vaccinated and you're not allowed to travel with the team and there's all these other restrictions, just, from a strictly football perspective, he made it harder for him to play each and every game. And we just saw it, I mean, if it comes down to one game, 8 weeks from now, we may be looking at that week saying, God, I wish we would have won that game. We could be having an NFC championship game and going through Green Bay again. As far as his answer, it's total bullshit. I mean, it's 100% a misleading lie. And then if you watched any of that Pat McAfee interview where he just went off for 45 minutes on why he's not vaccinated, he just sounds like a spoiled kid. He likened it to MLK saying that if you don't believe in the rules, you must fight the rules. And to that I say BS, man. If you didn't like the rules the NFL had, you're against the vaccine, don't pretend you got it then. Like MLK
yes,
wouldn't
exactly.
MLK doesn't pretend or isn't quiet about it, and then once he's exposed says, well, it's an unjust rule. No, if you truly felt like, I can respect you if you don't want to be vaccinated. Again, from a football perspective, not the best move, because there's a likelihood of you being out 10 days by close contact, which, by the way, I don't understand the NFL rules at all, because how is anyone at that party essentially on the COVID list and then need a couple negatives? But that's another conversation. for him to put himself on and be pretend he's the smartest guy in the room, and he's a very smart guy, but kind of like F you, man. Like that's it's such a I don't know. Everything about this rubbed me the wrong way. I don't hate the guy yet. I still understand where he's coming from on a lot of issues, but he completely botched this situation. And if he has a PR guy, he's just got to have one of the toughest jobs right now. Because I mean, he's losing sponsorships over this. I just think, be like Kirk Cousins. I hate to say that. This is the only time I'm going to tell Aaron Rodgers to be like Kirk Cousins. Just be upfront about it, and that's fine. But to blame the woke movement at this debacle is BS, because he lied about it, and that's all. That's all I have to say about it. 5 minutes later.
Yep, and I'm gonna make a quick comment, but yeah, I'm with you 100%. Like, I don't, to an extent, I obviously care if you're vaccinated or not, but either way, like, politics aside, just if you pick a side or you decide not to get the vaccine, then own it. Be honest about it. Like to your point, I can respect you if you are like, hey, I don't want the vaccine and here's why. It's like, okay, well, at least they're honest about it. Like, I disagree with that decision because you're hurting the team, you're hurting your teammates, but don't lie about it. Don't blatantly lie to the entire media and the entire fan base. And, I don't know. It just fires me up because it's like, that's poor character. That's poor leadership. And to your point, it's just BS. Yeah. That's what it is.
It's tough. And then again, I'm going to say it. To keep this on football, we win that game with Aaron Rodgers. And 100%. If you put, the best ability is availability, all the cliches. So, by following certain certain rules, you have certain protocols that help you, play in each and every game. So just by definition, he made it harder to win, and he basically rolled the dice, saying that. I mean, I read something that he won't get tested now for the next 90 days because he tested positive. So I think that gets us through the season. But what if this happens, in a playoff game, or if it didn't happen this week? What if it happened the week before the Super Bowl? Right? Like, it's just, it's hard to think that you would put your team in that position and not let everyone know that that's essentially, and maybe everyone in Green Bay knew, and they were like, yeah, this could happen, but it's tough. All that being said, Aaron Rodgers is the freaking man on the football field, and he's going to be available on Saturday for a Sunday game. And I fully want and expect Aaron to be playing next week against Seattle.
Yeah, yep, I would agree. I mean, he definitely gives this team the best chance to win. I wouldn't hate to see Jordan Love come out and see if he can improve on his first performance in the NFL in a regular season game. But
with a full week of practice with the starters,
with a full week of practice, yep, and maybe a game plan a little bit more finely tuned. But yeah, hoping it's Aaron Rodgers on Sunday and not Jordan Love, but. Again, I would be fine either way.
Yeah, overall, obviously we wanted that win against Kansas City. We got a lot of positives to take away from. I mean, that defense looks sick. So, Marcus, even though we're, 7-2 now? I see us going, I see a couple more wins in front of us. So, don't forget to follow us on Facebook, subscribe to us on Spotify, iTunes, Google, or wherever you listen to your podcast. And Marcus, as always, go Pack Go.